It's important to understand some data visualization principles before you get started with Excel charts, because understanding these principles will enable you to create the best chart possible that's relevant for your audience, suits your data, and is designed extremely well. So the first principle is really the most important, and that is keep it simple. There is a tendency, particularly after you've sat through one of these courses, to use all of the new skills that you've gained in your chart. Now, that's great, but you do have to be a bit mindful. You don't want to overcomplicate your chart or weigh it down with unnecessary elements. So make sure that you're always designing for clarity, because the most important thing is that someone can look at your chart and immediately understand what it's trying to communicate. So always consistently ask yourself, does this add value to my chart? If the answer is no, get rid of it. The next point is your chart is there to communicate a story, the story of your data. And that story will be different depending on the questions that you're trying to answer. So what exactly are you trying to communicate? Are you answering the relevant questions from your key stakeholders or customers? And all of these key points should be communicated quickly and clearly so that your audience doesn't lose interest. It's really important to know your audience. Who you're going to be presenting this data to. Is it clients? Is it stakeholders? Is it your managers? Or is it your core team? What's important to those people? And any key points that you have should be communicated quickly and clearly. And finally, you need to find a balance between design and function. Now, when it comes to charts, function always trumps design. I'll say that again. Function always trumps design. So it's very important that you select the right chart for your data, and not all charts are created equally. You'll see that in the next lesson. And it's important that we're mindful about things like color, any imagery we're using, shapes, and what chart elements we're adding. So design should definitely be considered, but make sure it's not at the expense of the actual functionality of the chart. So as long as you can get your head around those 3 core principles and keep those in mind as we're working through this course, you should be good. And now it's time to move on to the next lesson.